All right, welcome back to Inside Bodybuilding. Taylor Normando and I have our next guest ready to roll, and it is none other than former IFBB 202 Mr. Olympia champion, David Henry. Dave, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Very, very excited to have somebody who's as accomplished as you are be on the show. Very cool. Now we have a lot to talk about as far as your bodybuilding career goes and where it's going and what it's done. 43 career IFBB shows, 8 of them victorious. But before we get into all that, is it 9? Sorry, geez. I just already screwed up.
Crappy research. Come on.
I know. Shit. All right. Why don't we just call it 10? Let's just give them an extra one. But before we get into it, we got a ton of bodybuilding stuff. But you are recently retired from the Air Force, correct?
That's correct.
All right. So forget bodybuilding. That's boring. I want to know how we defeat ISIS.
Yeah, it was funny, man. I went on, I was training with Jose Raymond up here a couple months back or so for the Battle for the Olympia videos and stuff. And they caught some footage. We were sitting in the office talking and stuff. And I had made some political assessments on my own about something. And lo and behold, you got the freaking douchebags off of an unnamed website forum that I just won't go into right now. That like, if Dave didn't want this open, he should open his mouth. I'm like, hey, jackass. Actually, I've got 20 years of I can say what the fuck I want, and my opinion actually counts. I'll have more information on the state of affairs militarily wise than anybody else. Than these Google commandos, if you will, will ever have. Even in my retirement state, I can reach out to people and talk to and get information on a lot of things that no other civilian can really do. You know what I mean? And that really goes for any other military retired guy,
So what do you think about it, though? I mean, is it something that we can even wrap our heads around as a country to try to defeat, or is it, or should we just bomb the shit out of them, or what would you do? I mean.
That's for me again, man. I got my own personal reservations about what's going on that, and again, it's political, man.
Yeah,
I'll leave it at that, bro. But I would smoke those fools personally. I don't get how we let things drag on as far as they do, and not just like I said the first time. It should be just like bad credit. You go and do some hellacious act. Okay, you live with it for 7 years. Everybody's going to call you this and that and the other, and then they get over it.
Right. Yeah. Now, what was your military? What was your official rank when you retired?
I was a Master Sergeant.
Master Sergeant. Okay, so are you bossing like young plebes around, or what's your day-to-day like when you were in?
Well, yeah. Once you get up to a certain rank, of course, from tech to master, it definitely is. You're no longer the actual working hands-on. You know what I mean? You're more office bound, and that really didn't fit for me. So when that started becoming just a pain in my butt, it was time to punch, man. It really was. A lot of things have changed. A lot of things are changing that doesn't sit well with me and doesn't fit the mold that I initially came in, 20 years ago to do. So when that happens, just like anything else, you lose a luster for it, man. It's time to get out and go do something else and let the young guys who are all gung ho and doing what they want to do and don't know any better or different come in and take over.
Now, 20 years ago, did you have any aspirations of flying, being in the Air Force, or was that never on the table?
That's not on the table, brother. Everybody in the Air Force doesn't fly, just like all the Army dudes. No one's spec cops and rangers and stuff like that. There are actually other jobs that you can do in all the branches. Sure.
So, you got into, bodybuilding, right? Out of high school and everything, I imagine. Was it a natural fit right away? Was it, was it something that you just took to and muscle came on easy, or was it a struggle from the get-go, or what was your story?
No, muscle came on easy. I was just hyper responsive to that, and I like to clear that up with a lot of. You see so much crap out there, all these internet ninjas that believe what they want to believe, that the pros that are pros now have been doing things since they were 16 years old. I'm like, you got your head up your ass, man. If you really think that, you know what I mean. it was just one of those things. Is this documented research to show that there's certain individuals that are just genetically responsive to the stimulus, which is weight bearing exercises, bodybuilding, training, powerlifting. You know what I mean? So I got pictures that I carry around of me at 16 years old before I even touched a weight that put most of these dudes to shame who were busting their ass in the gym doing the same stuff day after day. So because of that, I show them it's just genetics, man. It determines how you look. It doesn't determine where your head's at and where your heart's at. So stop making those excuses. You know what I mean?
Hey,
sorry, go ahead, Taylor.
I was just curious when the diet and nutrition came into play. Did you sort of get on ball as soon as you started lifting weights, or did that come later and you sort of fell in love with training first?
I had to learn to train first.
Yeah.
The dieting part came way later.
So you kind of ate what you wanted?
Yeah, I did. I didn't get nutritional guidance until after I came back from Korea the first time, man, in 99. So that's when I started first, got a real good basis of how to do a diet. And I worked with Rich Darty from Beverly International at the time, who a lot of these guys probably don't know Beverly International, but they're very well respected. Diets and their nutritional stuff is sound, So for those guys that want to get a start in there, definitely check those guys out if they're still around. I'm not sure. I haven't done any research on it here lately, but that's who I used.
Would you say that's when you saw your first big growth spurt, around 24, 25, once you got your nutrition under wraps?
Yeah, I just basically, I learned how to recover. I learned that recovery was important, using food, using just rest and not overtraining. Because when I first started training under the guidance of just every other gym guru in there who thought they knew what they were doing, I was overtraining, man. I was so sore and so beat up day after day. I was like, damn, man, it cannot be that hard and that brutal to get that big. And looking back, the guys that were instructing me and stuff like that really weren't that big,
right.
By today's standards, I guess. Well, back then, as a 16, 17-year-old kid looking up, they were. And even at 24, 25, you're like, yeah, these are some bitty big boobs. But basically, these guys were like that beach muscle, that smooth, doughy, doughboy look that look good in clothes, but that's about it, And
let's not rag on those guys too bad. I'm one of those guys, Dick.
No. I don't do that to anyone, man. I say as long as you're still doing something, then yeah, that's cool with me. It's the ones that make all kinds of excuses that I don't have time for.
Right, absolutely. So let's backtrack. So you're right, a couple years removed from high school. You go to the Air Force. Just getting into bodybuilding and whatnot, trying to figure your way through the, through the gym, don't know nutrition yet at this point. How, where you were gaining weight pretty consistently because you're a hyper responder to everything. Now in the military, they don't obviously have your bodybuilding interest, at hand. How hard was that as you got older, year after year after year, you're trying to do 6 meals a day, trying to live 5 days a week. Was that a real, tug of war with, your superior officers and just people in your, in your military crew that they want a different agenda from you? Or talk a little bit about that.
No, what happens, man, is when I first started getting super serious into the training, it was right after 9/11. Actually, when I got back from my deployment, we were the second bomber unit over there on the B-1 bomber squadron. We were the second guys over there right after the first group left. So we got notification of right in November, right after 9/11 hit, that we were rolling out. I deployed from January to May, following year, of course. And during that time period, man, I started training with some powerlifters and stuff over there in the desert and everything, and started getting really, really, really big and really huge, man, because we had so much food over there. I don't know who thought that you go over there and you lose weight. I blew up, man. I went from like 155 pounds, bro, to like 191.
Wow. And it was all muscle, or was you put on a little gut
hell
too?
No, dude, I look like a freaking trucker, man. I was like,
that's funny.
So, yeah, so it was 191 pounds of, I don't know, like probably a before Muscle Tech picture, you know? So I went over there, man, trained and stuff. I came back. I got hold of Rich Daugherty from Beverly International. I literally had, I think, seven weeks to prep for the USAs. Oh, look at that. What the hell is that?
Hello?
Yeah.
Phil, you got a bus driving by your house?
Yeah, probably. It's actually a helicopter. I live next to an airport. I'll let it out.
Right.
I knew there was something going on there.
Next door to a helicopter. Sorry.
No, so I had 7 weeks to get ready when I got back from the desert to get ready for the USAs in 2002. And I was 191, man. I had to come down to lightweight. And I dropped all that weight down to 164. So going over there at 155, dieting down to a very hard 164, you know, I made a little bit of gain, you know what I mean? So, yeah, because when I went over there, I was not in contest shape. That's for damn sure. So coming back and getting into that type of shape, man, I was impressed. You know, the added muscle did help me out a little bit. The added weight helped me out, you know, of course, push some heavy weight and stuff. So got back, man, took second to Stan McQuaid that year, and then vowed that the politics and stuff wouldn't beat me again for the same against the same individuals later on that year, and that's when I won.
Yeah, go into that. I was gonna say, Dave, since you brought it up, the politics and whatnot. In your opinion, how do you see the politics? Is it just you have to pay your dues, or do they actually like somebody better because they're buddies with the judges? What do you see it as?
Yeah. Oh man, you know, my wife and I had this discussion at length all the time, and here, you know, and for the sake of my career, because I still think I have a lot longer to go and a lot left in the tank, I'll refrain from speaking on that part. However, earlier on, it was that, man. Nowadays, I say you should have to pay your dues. You know, you don't just go out there and stunner, boom, you win your first show right out the gate, because trust, there's always dudes better than you. There's always a conditioning level that's better than yours and stuff. So,
I think I hear what you're saying, but at the same time,
they want to do the right thing. They should be doing the right thing all the time, and I am not seeing that happen. And I don't know what the reasoning is behind that. I hear other stuff. Trust me, man, we all hear other stuff behind that. But again, I'm not going to put that out for public discourse because everybody thinks they know everything about such and such and stuff. So I'm like, no, you knuckleheads don't. You don't know shit, dude. I have Jose Raymond at my house. I have Guy Sister Nino at my house. You know, we go to their house. So we know what's up, man. Trust me, we pass information back and forth. So it's not like, unless you're a super close friend, you're not going to know.
Well, when we talk, we can't talk about politics, although we're not really talking about politics. We're kind of talking about politics without bringing up you and Kevin English. I just, my mind was blown year after year when he was still competitive, and your second place is time and time again to the guy. I don't know what they were seeing. And every excuse I would hear in a wrap-up show online or in person when I was at an event, they said he was bigger, but there was nothing about him that said better bodybuilder. And
yeah.
And everywhere and I know you're probably saying, but at the same token, it just reeked of politics. And if you don't want to say it, and I understand why you don't want to say it, I'll be the one to say it. It just felt wrong. I kind of would leave the show or watch it online or what have you, and I would say to myself, this just doesn't feel right. And did you feel that way as being the guy, or were you just like, you know what, he beat me? Were you humble, or what was going on?
I'll tell you guys right now, no one has beat me on that stage. They won by whatever virtue, but no one who's placed ahead of me, as far as me, the second places all those years, has ever beaten me on that stage. And I'm going to still take that. They won due to whatever various factors might have been in their corner at the time. But, I still feel as though that I'm still on top, and I still have a lot more to show and gain and put out there, man. I'm not done yet by any means. We always say one bad placing doesn't negate the rest of the stuff you've accomplished, and it does not determine the rest of your career. And if it does, well, maybe you weren't cut out for this,
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Do you think, do you like the new 212 versus the 202 since you excelled so much at the, you excelled at 212 too, but do you like it better? Or?
Yeah, I think it's been fantastic. They've done a good thing with that. And dude, we're just like becoming like mass monsters of the 212 now. It's like, damn.
I think people that listen to the show and follow my site, Project Bodybuilding, a lot of them prefer the 212 division because you guys actually come in shape.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. It is totally one of those conditioning games because pretty much everyone's got the size out there now. You just got to bring it.
You know what? One thing I don't know though is like, picture somebody at the very top of the class, like we'll say Flex Lewis. Do you think being boxed into the 212 is holding his physique back? Because I mean, how do you improve if you're already, at the very top end? Your conditioning's pretty much on point, even though I can point to some flaws on him that might not be all the way there. But there are other guys that they're coming in rock hard, and they might have to not do everything they can to improve themselves. I guess where I'm going with this is, should they raise it to 220 or is 212 it?
I like the sound of 212. It's evenly divisible by 2. It's good. I like even numbers. I don't like
that's
odd
your
numbers.
That's your OCD, man. That's a
So I think it's a good thing. Once you go to 220, man, you might as well go to open and stuff. And I've been there, done that. But at this point in my career, I'm trying to go out as a legend, as one of the best that were around at the time, and stuff, and garner a lot more titles if I could, to round them out. That's what I'm going for. So jumping in an open class for any one of us probably would just be, I don't know, just useless, man. Why would you? You're going to put yourself down to the 10 through 12 spot because, dude, the guys that are that much bigger are that much more conditioned as well. So it's not going to play in your favor.
Do you think just curiosity, do you think obviously the addition of the class has benefited you a lot? Do you think there's any benefit to adding another class if the 212 was to say jump to 220? Do you think adding more classes makes it better, or is there only need 2?
Personally, I think sticking with the 2 is fine. I was kind of happy when they did.
Yeah, like another 198 or something like that.
Well, I mean, but that's the reason why they got the divisions for the national level shows and stuff.
Yeah. I guess people will just argue that it gives someone who wins their pro card as a light heavyweight or a middleweight a chance to compete in the professionals and without having to put on a ton of size. But I agree.
They do. Well, I competed as a middleweight, man. I turned pro at 167 and a quarter, man.
Yeah, true.
And Dexter Jackson was a bantamweight, for shit's sake.
Yeah.
So, look at him now. The man's rocking at 45 years old or so, and geez,
absolutely.
Always on top.
I definitely hear what Taylor's saying, though, in the respect that you might have a guy that's 150 pounds and he has to wait 4 or 5 years before we see him again after he wins his card. And that kind of sucks a little bit as a fan, but it's part of the game.
And for them. Not even so much the fan, but for them, I guess, right?
It just sucks that you're small.
Yes.
Well, no, if it's your ultimate goal to be at the top of the 212, then yeah, it will suck trying to get up to that level. But just, I would say for those guys, know when to say when on that kind of thing, and not punish your body and put it through the type of expense and torture that you will have to do to get to that level, put another 30, 40 pounds on, and use that IFBB Pro to further your business, if that is indeed what you're doing. If you're personal training, if you're a nutritional coach for someone, that IFBB title in the front of that helps immensely.
Yeah, absolutely. Very smart.
Just market yourself smart.
For sure.
I was going to say, when you're talking about guys coming down, you were top 10 at the Olympia in the open class. But is it more fun as in your prep to know that the odds are I'm going to be in the first call out and competing for the title, versus a great showing for me in the open at the Olympia would be 8th or 9th? what's the psyche going on mentally 8 weeks out, knowing what you probably know will happen?
Oh, it's always great, man. Knowing that you're in the front running for stuff, and not just based on your name, but based on how you've come out time and time again. And, throughout the year, if you posted any pics and stuff or things like that, that you improved on, the anticipation's there for everybody to see, man, what did this guy bring? What's he doing now? What's he changing? How much has he rounded something out? Has he added this here, and stuff. So it's a mind game, but 8 weeks out, you should kind of know where you are. And if you're on track or not, keep going. I mean, especially if you've got the invite to the Olympia and you've already said yes, you got to do it anyway. So,
yeah, but does it make it more fun to know that, like, nothing against you, Dave, but you could come in your all-time best, and if you do the men's open at the Olympia, I have a hard time believing you're going to knock off Phil Heath. You know what I mean? Like, you just probably not going to happen.
Oh, it's not going to happen, and I'm realistic, man. A lot of these guys got some astronomical projections of where they should be based on one damn show. I'm like, no, be consistent and top 1, 2, 3 and these classes like this, and fine, say that. Of course, the Olympia is the be all end all at the end of the year. Say you're the best in the world for that next 364-day period. And that's fine, and do it consistently. All right, cool. Because I mean, again, one time, 2 and 3 times, okay, you can use that title, or you can use whatever that is that you want to, market yourself as later on.
If you never win another Olympia, will you consider your career successful, or where would you put it?
I've already outshined every single one of my goals, bodybuilding wise. And I'd be just fine rolling out as is right now if I needed to. I've already done what I needed to. First goal is to compete on a level of professional. The second one was to win 6 titles. Done that. Plus, I've already top 10 the Olympia at 187 pounds. I placed 10th at the Olympia at the Open. So they can suck it. You know what I mean? So I've got that certificate and the medal and stuff like that goes with that these guys will never see. I've got a 202 Mr. Olympia title right there. So that's one thing. Once you're Olympian, you're Olympian. You can never take that back. Whether I win another one or not, I still have one. You know what I mean? So
is that 202 the best? Like, I mean, is that worth more to you in your brain than your highest open placing?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I absolutely I would think so.
It is, man, just because that just the prestige of that thing, man,
It's a champion.
And the guys, you're champion, man, and you can't ever take a champion away just because guys are going to come in after you and they're younger and everything else. It's going to be a day-to-day battle, man. Hell, we're all getting older every single day, so it's not like, that argument is weak, and it's like, come with something different, man, Yes, the guys coming up are 25 to 27, hell of a lot better than I was at 25 and 27, and I get that. And that's fine. But, oh, you're getting old, you should drop out. Like, hey, how don't you come and take my place? All right, you can't because you're on the internet.
Too busy typing.
Yeah, you're too busy wasting time instead of going and doing something productive, like go help a homeless shelter or something.
No shit.
Like you use 10 minutes of your time to go and trash talk a pro who obviously has done a hell of a lot better and more than you have.
Taylor, so, I have a feeling David Henry spends a lot of time on the boards.
I don't spend any time on the boards.
Oh, you're missing out on all the fun.
I did that, man, early in my career.
It's brutal, huh?
And it's brutal because all those jackasses on there are freaking 6 foot, 258, 4% body fat, trying to tell somebody how they look. I'm like, get out of here, bro. When we actually research them and track them down, they're like bro science, dude.
Yeah, it's kind of like when the old guy at the gym tells you he used to look like you. It's like, where were all these freaks walking around? It's like, if all these guys on the internet look like they say they do, you think the gym's, how come I don't see them in the gym ever?
Exactly, man. I just learned to just put all that garbage behind me because I'm like, what? Not one single person who's had something negative to say about me, nasty, has ever come up to my face and said that.
Yeah.
And if they have, I'll show them what 20 years of military service and everything else does.
Whoosh, whoosh,
There's a throwdown. I have a sort of an unrelated question. I'm just curious, since you've been around at the highest level for so long, I'm just wondering, have the new divisions and just the insane amount of competitors in the shows, has it changed anything about like the Mr. Olympia experience for you? I'm talking about men's physique and bikini, or do you kind of just, is it just blinders on and you don't really even notice it?
I notice it, man, and I don't know. I don't know why they added. I know why they added men's physique. As far as why I would have added it, I guess, but I don't know why. Monetarily wise, it makes sense because not everybody's going to want to come out and look like us, and I get it. So why not cater to a group of individuals that still have a muscular look to them, and not to where it's not insane. I guess I live this industry on the insane side, and all of us 212 and open guys do. Of course, that's why we look like we do. So those that don't want to do that, hey, physique is where they're finding their state of affairs, and good for them. I'm not judging them. Don't judge me. It's like, don't start, none will be none.
Yeah, for sure. It hasn't like just generally the situation backstage. I'm always curious. They love
us, man.
yeah, for sure.
They're still fans. They're still fans of us, man. I hang out with Mark Anthony and all these guys. They're cool dudes, man. We travel together and stuff, and there's no animosity. Although we do clown them on the leg comments and stuff everybody makes about the boards.
You have to.
But some of them are pretty jacked legs, though, man. Just because you got shorts on doesn't mean that you're actually covering up a flaw. So,
well, yeah, a lot of them are bodybuilders in their brain. They just, for whatever reason, either don't have the size, can't get the size, or don't want to do what it takes to get the size. So they found their niche, I guess.
Right, and that's cool, man. That's more power to them. Hey, maybe it'll keep the industry alive longer and stuff. But I know some people have said, why isn't an IFBB associated with that? Because if you break it down and we realistically look at it, IFBB is International Federation of Bodybuilding.
Yeah.
What is that? Men's physique, bikini, and stuff like that. And figure don't fit into that mold. They really don't, as far as that goes. If you're going to say IFBB in front of it. So, maybe creating a separate division of title for that would be probably, a better, to where it differentiates it. Because I always got guys run up to me, I'm a pro just like you. I'm like, you're not just like me. Get out of here.
Yeah, watch your damn mouth.
I was saying, they've so done that, man. And I was like, that doesn't instantaneously gain you kudos points, man. Do something.
Yeah. I've always wanted to propose that you guys should do the 212 and the open together at a separate venue promoted by a separate promoter, and let the bodybuilding stand alone, and then have all the other, board short, bikini, physique stuff have their day, and let's just kind of put their money where their mouth is. And because they act like that's, all these droves of people are going to those divisions and it's so popular and it's such a moneymaker. I say, well, okay, if it is, then have your own little show.
Why that's true? Because there's 200 guys in the show and they bring their entire family. That's why that's why there's people in the seats.
That's probably true.
That's a really good, valid argument, man. Even at the local shows, man, you've got I was like, damn, there's 197 competitors and there's standing room only in these venues. I'm like, damn, he brought the entire family, because most of them, it is their first time competing. So they will bring the entire family out,
Absolutely. Bikini girls, same way. I definitely agree with you, Matt. I think at least put it on different days so we can really see where it stands, because there's nothing worse than being in the audience during bodybuilding when you can tell you're surrounded by family members of a bikini girl or something, when they're just sort of talking bodybuilding, how gross it is. Why are you in a bodybuilding show? Go home. So
yeah, definitely.
All right, so Dave, let's bring up some harder questions.
Gotcha.
9th place at the Olympia this past year. What happened?
I don't know. I can't tell you from off the top of my head what happened. Even if I came in my worst conditioning, I guess I couldn't see that happening. And I tell you, from all the stuff I still get, man, my wife was side stage and they started doing the call outs. She said all eyes turned to her like, what the fuck? And I'm like, and me standing on stage, man, there's no words. I'm like, my stomach dropped. I'm like, what? And I'm trying to put on that time. It was a fake ass smile, guys. I know I have a beautiful smile, but this time it was fake.
Right.
And I was trying to hold it in like, what the hell just happened? So a second call out, no. Third call out, now I'm in there. I'm like, oh, hell no. So, as a professional, you suck it up and you go out there and you hit your poses and stuff as hard as you can. And in the back of my mind going, what the heck just happened there? And I still don't know, man. And when you've got the top two dudes coming to you as you're traveling, going to another show, going, bro, I have no words for you. I can't tell you what happened. Then I'm not going to say political stuff behind it, but something was up, brother. And that's really all I got to say about that.
Do you think maybe just because like you have been better previously, like it wasn't your absolute best, do you think they kind of over penalized you instead of like giving you where you belong? They're like, oh shit, he's a little bit off or whatever. I've seen him bigger, fuller. So they just pretty much just fucked you. What do you think? Yeah,
here's the thing. It all boils down to a level of respect. And if you're going to respectfully give dudes second and thirds who justifiably should not be up there out of respect, then I think I should have garnered at least the same thing in that point. It was one of those things to where even the veterans came up and said that was just disrespectful. So
let me play devil's advocate though, because we see it in other sports like basketball, football, baseball, when a guy's like on the outside of his career, and I'm not saying you are, because in bodybuilding you peak at 40 a lot of times. Is this kind of a back-ended way of them playing like, you're due for a contract and we're tired of David, so let's put him in ninth and hope he quits? Is that pushing it a little too far? Am I reaching a little too far, or is this like them?
Yeah, that's reaching, man.
Okay. Well, you never know, because it's all about who they may want as the faces of the division. And like you talked about earlier, there's guys that are 25, 26, 27 years old that they may want to be the face of the 212 and not a guy that's already been there and done that like yourself.
Well, if that's the case, some of these faces of the 212 look like they're freaking 45. So
a previous guest comes to mind, man.
We've had Eric on before. We can say his name.
Okay. For sure.
So, and they can't say it's an age-related thing because that's bullshit. Because Jose Raymond and I are same age, so they're definitely full of shit on that one. Myself, Beto, really? The dude's like as old as we are, if not, I think he's older, matter of fact. And Sammy is 42. You got Charles Dixon, who's about to wreck these guys at the freaking Arnold. He's 42. So
he just got started late in his life too, didn't he?
So did he. Yeah, so did I.
Yeah.
I turned pro at 27 years old, way later than these guys have been. You know what I mean? And didn't start changing, quote unquote, my body until 28, 29 years old. So I'm still early.
Well, there you go. I'm going to take back that question. That was a dumb shit question.
You tried. A for effort.
I commend your effort, man, but thumbs down.
There we go. Thumbs down. Fair enough. I'll take that.
At hardcorepeptides.com, we pride ourselves with providing only the highest quality USA-made peptides and research chemicals. Hardcore Peptides stands proudly behind its quality, and so can you, thanks to our mass spectrum testing of all our peptides and research chemicals. Now, Projectbodybuilding.com members and listeners can save 20% off the best quality peptides and research chemicals with the discount code PBB20. Why go anywhere else for your research needs? Shop hardcorepeptides.com today and save. Use the coupon code PBB20 and get 20% off your order. That's hardcorepeptides.com. Iron Mag Labs is the creator of the most hardcore bodybuilding supplements on the market. Makers of the original formula Super DMZ and now Super DMZ 3.0, Iron Mag Labs brings you the strongest legal pro hormones on the market. Also available are Epitrin, Halo Extreme, Epistane, and Asta RX. Go to ironmaglabs.com right now and order from a wide selection. If you are a fan of Project Bodybuilding, please support this company. IronMagLabs.com, the most hardcore bodybuilding supplements on the market. Period.
Taylor, every show and every guest we have on, Taylor unquestionably asked the wife question. So Taylor, ask the wife question.
I'm just always curious because we've had a few. I don't always. There's lots of single guys we've had, but I've heard you in previous interviews talk about just how involved your wife is with bodybuilding in general, and how you guys are sort of involved, maybe on a local level, I believe it was, or something like that. Can you just sort of maybe discuss how you guys sort of are your teamwork there in the bodybuilding industry beyond what we see of you on stage?
Oh yeah, most definitely, man. My wife is totally an integral part of my daily everything, man. You know, besides the wife and mother of my awesome little daughter, and they're sleeping right now and taking a nap, which I should be doing, but I'm good.
You ruined your day.
No, you did not at all. I got schoolwork to do here.
Gotcha.
She has been such an integral part of what I do. I mean, when you can go to work, you know, for 8 to 10, sometimes 12 hours out of the day, and you know, you come home and you got, you know, six to 8 meals cooked up for you, you know, and she's actually proud of what she did, that she wants to show you them all, you know, that's awesome, man. Because that's not something I'm going to do. And there's a lot of dudes that I know that don't even get that, you know. She's worked for Protan for as long as we've been together, of course. And so she's physically touched and put oil on damn near 90% of the current pros out there. You know what I mean? So
it's relatively secure in that one.
Of course, I get the first-hand treatment, brother. You know.
Oh, I see.
Hey, let's go more to that.
You know, so this is a job. It's just like any other thing. You know, someone's got to prep these guys and get that stuff on them, man. You know, and that's what she was doing until the birth of my daughter, and then she retired from that. And now, you know, as a full-time mom and stuff, you know, now she's around constantly to poke at me to get me to do what I need to do, of course.
Nice.
You briefly mentioned doing schoolwork. What's going on? Are you taking college classes, or? I'm finishing my last 4 classes for my Bachelor's of Science in Criminal Justice Administration Management, so I can probably do a resource officer in these high schools, man. You know. Oh, nice.
Awesome.
Very cool. And I always liked my resource officer in high school. He had the best job until he just slept all day, actually.
He said he needed a nap, so he was trying to combine his passion with his regime.
Yeah, so you know, I'm doing that. I'm finishing that, man. I've already, you know, I've been degreed out here, if you will, for so many years of stuff, and now I'm finally getting some retirement time here. I'm going to knock out these classes back to back and finish it up I should be done September 7th, so right before the Olympia, so I shouldn't have any stress going into that one.
You gonna wear the cap and gown, or?
No, I didn't for my. No.
That could be your guest posing routine at your next guest posing.
Yeah, no. Definitely not doing that, man. But no, it'd just be a sense of accomplishment. You know, I've never really given as much dedication as to finishing this one with a high GPA as I have anything else in my educational background, and this one I just take a personal pride in doing. So keeping my almost 4.0 GPA, except for this last stupid class that knocked me down a couple points. I got pissed on that one, but it wasn't due to me. It was a group thing.
Oh,
blame it on the Asian kid. That's what you got to do.
Yeah, right. They're the straight A's. Always.
I'm blaming it on people who English is not their first language. I'll put it like that.
It's the Indian kid.
Dave, I'm curious, 2 names that you've worked with, at least in the past, and one still to this day, that I'm pretty sure had a pretty big impact on your career, is Scott Stevenson and Dante Trudell. Can you maybe give us a little background on how you met whichever one came first, and sort of your relationship with both of them?
It was Scott I actually met first. Scott Stevenson, man, we were training at Gold's Gym when I first got to Tucson back in 2003, matter of fact. So I was training at Gold's Gym. He was training at Gold's Gym. He saw I was training, how I was training, I guess. And I saw how he was training, and just off chance, he came by and said, "Hey, man, I see, you're training hard and stuff like that. How would you like to try a different type of training that could put muscle on you better than any other method you probably tried?" And I'm like, yeah, whatever. Okay. Because remember, turning pro, man, the year before you thought you were the Heat. that you do everything.
Yeah, it's the random guy at the gym. Yeah, go fuck yourself, right?
No, he actually looked good. I mean, he looked great. I mean, he definitely looked like a competitor, and he still does. So it's not like, it wasn't some dude with a shirt that says trainer on the back coming up. Not gonna, name any facilities that have those type of guys, but whatever. So he said, how would you like to try some training that can put muscle on you really quick, man? It's super hard. It's in depth. It's definitely a challenge. I'm like, okay, yeah, what you got? So he told me it's called DC training. And he goes, and I'll tell you, he goes, it stands for dog crap training. I'm like, what? I said, what kind of mess are you trying to sell me, man? And so he's like, no, seriously. He goes, I'll take you through it. I'll take you through it for a few tries and stuff and tell me what you think. So I met up with him, at the gym, and he showed me the ropes of it. And he's like, okay, to officially get this stuff down, he goes, you need to get in contact with Dante Trudell. I was like, who's that? He's like, he is the proprietor of the system, that the training program that we're using right here that I'm showing you. And I was like, all right, cool. He's like, get hold of him and see if he'll take you. I'm like, all right, cool. So I emailed Dante. And man, he kept sending me back, nope, hell no, nope. And his reasoning behind that, and you can ask him personally, and I've talked to him personally on it, it was that he did not take on any pro bodybuilders, because, especially males, because we have our mindsets, and we have our mindset in a way we train, the way we work out. It's hard to drop everything about how you train and adopt a new system totally from the ground up to start doing. So that's his whole reason why he never took me in the first probably 5 or 6 times I tried to get to him. And he finally broke down. In June of 2004. He sent me my first program, man. He laid the entire thing out, guys. I mean, it was like 8 damn pages of how to do everything from rep to rep, from rest to rest, the nutritional part of it and everything. And I studied that thing, like a technical manual man. And any questions I had, I went to Scott, of course, to elaborate more on if I couldn't get hold of Dante. So those two were definitely integral and critical part of my first Size Matters, man, because, I went from 2003. Okay, I turned pro in 2002 at 167 pounds. The next time I stepped on stage was 2004. 2005.
It was the Florida show, right? The Florida Pro Extreme.
Yeah, it was, man. I was like 187 pounds, man. Again, I stayed at 187, so I 20 pounds of muscle on there in that amount of time was relatively unheard of, and it still kind of is, But my body responded to everything once I took it to the other levels. Everything pretty fast. So that was pretty much it, man. I used that training platform, and I trained with Scott consistently for the next 6-7 years after that.
I got to ask you, did you follow it to a T?
Yeah.
You didn't deviate at all, huh?
No, I did not. I believe that if you're going to tell yourself you're training a certain way, then you need to follow it. You need to be doing it. Don't be just adapting little parts to it and say, oh, I DC train for legs.
Yeah, I do some stretches.
I hear that all the time, man. I'm like, dude, you haven't earned the shirt. You haven't, been there, done that, got the t-shirt action. You either do the whole thing all the way or don't say you train that at all. Because, yes, certain systems, certain training methods work at different levels for different people. And, yeah, fine, you're a free-thinking person, mix and match as you will. But don't just straight up say you're using that train.
I think it's really cool that we're talking DC training now, because you're the 4th or 5th person we've had on the show or just through the site that have kind of been through the coaching ranks of Dante, because we've had Dusty on, we've had, Skip hosts the show with Taylor, Justin Harris has been on, so it's kind of fun to hear everybody have their own Dante story. And it's like you said, it's, some guys, I found DC training from Intense Muscle, Skip's site. So
yeah, same here. I went on that right after Scott said, "Hey, now you need to get on this site, man." And I said, "The guys would love to hear your perspective on stuff, so get on there." And 10 Muscle. Now I was under as Pro DH.
Did Scott and Dante, did they develop it together? Like, how are they in cahoots together?
Oh, no. You know what? I really don't know how Scott and Dante met. That's actually a good damn question. When I get back down there to stay with Scott again, I've been trying to reach out and do more of the guru stay with and train with kind of thing here now lately. Like a lot of the guys have been doing. It's like now that I have the time, I can do that. So sure. I don't know how they met, man. I'm gonna definitely contact him and see what his whole background story is, because he's, as we all know, if you haven't talked to my buddy Scott, man, he's one of those guys. He can definitely give you a discussion that you'd be worthy of podcast.
Yeah, can he dumb it down, or does he kind of talk over you sometimes?
No. He can make it as prehistoric as you need, or as nerdly science as you need. Because he and John Meadows actually came up with lots of ideas together. Because John Meadows, of course, Mountain Dog Diet, dude, the beast of himself. Yep. And Scott just put out his ebook on Fortitude Training, which is what I use now. So
I'm just curious, because you said you responded very well, obviously, in the gym. Do you think you would have reached the same size? The DC training, do you think it was integral to your growth, or do you think you would have kind of just done it anyways with your genetics?
I tell you what, man, I didn't start pushing limits or anything until here recently. So I think I would have definitely gained the size that I have with DC training. I was, again, careful with my nutrition. I was following the off season stuff to a T, and on adding, olive oil and stuff to my shakes in the middle of the night and all that silliness. And I was like, oh man, this is horrible. But it was working
for sure.
And stuff. And I was blowing up, and I was getting nice, man. I was, my off season was probably going maybe 205, 210, getting back down to 187 and 190 and stuff, but it was steadily going up, So
you think it probably just helped you reach your potential faster? You might have got there anyways, but it would have taken you a little bit longer without the DC training?
Yeah.
And what is Fortitude Training you're doing now? What is that about?
Oh man, it's one of those things I cannot explain that enough on the radio or anything. You guys just have to go and check it out and see it. I mean, it's one of those things you really have to be personally shown how to do the stuff, or you visit Scott's an integrative bodybuilding site and see some of the YouTube videos on how he demonstrates the movements and stuff. It's like ridiculous.
This one, no, okay, I'm really curious about this, because what makes you go from doing DC to Fortitude? Because isn't the mentality with DC where it really should never have to end? Like, why change at this point in your career?
Well, I actually been using Fortitude for the last couple years, so it wasn't a change dramatic. I changed because Scott's like, man, I've been working on. I saw him doing something different. I was like, he's like, oh no, man, I've been doing DC for a long time. I'm like, really? What are you doing? He's like, well, once I knock out the kinks and stuff of recovery and sets and reps and things like that, I'll show you. I'll bring you on board and let you see what I'm doing. So he was the beta testing course. Scott likes to be the guinea pig of all the stuff. He definitely researches his information and tries it out before he puts it out there for anyone to dispute, because you can't. When you got 42 different resources that this guy does for almost everything that he does, you'd be hard pressed to find some flaws in it, other than being a jackass trying to just discredit everything, Yeah.
Well, it is the internet, so.
Yeah, that's not hard for some of these people.
Well, so we have personal accounts of doctors and stuff that can give you the information. I don't think you can get any better than first person knowledge.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Scott's a smart dude. We're hoping to get him on one of the radio shows soon. I think probably PED, so we can pick his brain and let him nerd out as much as possible.
Oh man, get ready.
Yeah.
Hope you have your Google ready so you can look up all the words he's saying, Taylor.
Listeners, I'm just going to be sitting there going cross-eyed. It's all good.
So would you credit working with Scott as making, just the longevity of your career be so impressive with 43 shows? And you haven't really had any serious injuries to speak of, not that I know of. What do you contribute that longevity to and that just sustainability?
Oh, just being smart, man. Being smart with your body, knowing when to say when. Certain things hurt and they tweak, and now that I have. I mean, any serious training dude or female will let you know that we've had our tweaks. You know, we've had scares and everything else, but knock on wood, 40 years old, that nothing has sidelined me, you know, to the point of not being able to compete anymore. So I listen. If I've got like a chest tweak, you know, in the armpit or something, the bicipital tendon or anything is giving me issues, work around it or take an additional time off, train something else, rest when you need to rest. And also, you know, you gotta cycle your off season and contest diet to offset that kind of stuff too. You know what I mean? So you can't just be straight clean and think you're gonna make the gains, you know, because you're gonna hurt yourself. You know, you gotta have some dirty stuff in there with it and everything. So you gotta definitely cycle off the preseason stuff and go on off season and take some downtime and live a little bit, you know, and rest a lot more to make it longer.
How much downtime or periods of no training do you give yourself a year, if any at all?
I tell you, this last time after the Olympia, man, after Korea, right after that one, I took actually 4 weeks off the gym, man. I really did. I had to get my stuff back together, man. I was like, are you kidding me? So, you know, my wife looked at me. She's like, hey, you need to take some time off.
Was that mentally tough for you or no?
Not this time, man. It was needed. And I was like, you know what? You're right. And go live like a normal human being in society and not count freaking grams of protein and all the rest of this silliness, you know, that goes along with this stuff, and just eat what I wanted to eat, train if I wanted to train, which I didn't, you know, and stuff like that, and just attend to my family, man, you know, because over the year, that last year was rough. I was transitioning from getting all my paperwork done for retirement, man, to buying a house out here at the same time. It was like, damn, that's a lot to driving across country, 2,800 miles myself from Arizona to Mass. I was like, dang, man, this is a lot. This is all during contest prep, man.
I don't know if I heard the story. Why did you guys move? What happened?
Oh, my wife is born and raised out here, man, and family's all out. So trust me, this would not have been my first choice.
You guys have been getting hammered with snow. I feel you.
Yes, I have. My brand new snowblower has probably like looking at me and giving me the double middles about now. So,
have you been locked in your house? Have you been able to get out, or has it just been awful?
Oh, we can get out, brother. I mean, we lucky enough, the area that I live in, the city and the town, these guys live for this stuff out here. There's dudes out here with plows on the front of their trucks. That's all they live for, brother. You see them rolling down the street, their coffee mug in hand, and plowing the crap out of everybody. They love it. They treat it like a sport out here.
They try to outplow each other.
Oh yeah.
So what's coming up? You're not doing the Arnold. What's the first show for the season for you?
It will be the Olympia. Sadly to say, it will be just the O. I mean, concentrating on that. But you know, I will be giving myself some practice runs throughout the year here, starting in June or April timeframe, actually, to get myself in shape and make sure that I am in shape for the O when it comes up, by almost basically shooting for a contest deadline, if you will, of a contest prior to the Olympia. So I'll be ready. Mm-hmm. And then I should be able to go right into it.
Did that month off sort of rejuvenate your passion for competing?
Yeah, it did. I didn't read anything about myself. I didn't look at any pictures. I didn't pick up any magazines. You know, I didn't do anything bodybuilding related. I really did just I just separated myself from the whole industry for that amount of time, man. And I think that was definitely a needed break. It was needed change. Definitely refreshing
for sure. For
once to be like, damn, I'm not sore. I don't remember the last time I'm not sore.
My knees don't hurt anymore. This is great.
Yeah, I'm not looking up the stairs going, damn, I just trained legs. I got to go up the stairs.
Makes you wonder why you're getting back into bodybuilding, doesn't it?
No, I imagine after a couple of weeks, you're ready to go.
Yeah.
I was, man, but I was definitely taking the recommended time off so that my body responded better to off season and everything else going back into this. So I wanted to basically clean myself out, blood work and all that stuff, and make sure I was good to go. And happy to say that as a man sitting here at 4 years old, I'm not the next statistic, so that's cool. And I believe it, man. We've always done that every 6 months, man. This is a public service announcement for all you knuckleheads out there who refuse to go get that stuff done. Go get your blood work done. Go see where you're at, and take care of issues before the issues take care of you. So get it done.
There we go. Taylor, what do you say we do 10 questions with Dave and let him get out of here? Okay.
Absolutely. I'll cue the music.
Cue the music for me, buddy. David Henry, we got 10 questions, probably more like 11 or 12 if I play these right. And some of them are going to be quick, some of them are going to be funny, some of them are going to be off the wall. Just kind of give the first thing that comes to your mind, or an A or a B, and you'll figure it out. All right, question number 1. Better war movie, American Sniper or Saving Private Ryan?
I'm going to go with Saving Private Ryan because I haven't seen American Sniper yet, but I've read the book.
Oh, okay. It was good. Taylor loves war movies, so
I do joke.
I got some I like. I like some of them.
Question number 2. If you weren't a bodybuilder or retired military, what line of work would you be in? And I think you already answered that one, but go ahead anyway.
No, I didn't.
Well, you said school resource officer, but... No,
WWE wrestler.
Fuck yeah. That's left field right there.
I love it. Perfect. Question number... what would be your name? Do you have a name?
No.
He hasn't put that much thought into it.
He could be Mark Henry's smaller tag team.
I've been called that by these idiots out there. I'm like, oh man, just because we're from Texas, man, doesn't mean. I'm like, Mark Henry outweighs me by about 300 pounds, and he's about 40 shades darker.
I was about to say, he's got 2 shades.
6'5".
Yeah. No family resemblance.
No family resemblance. Yeah, just a coincidence. Nope. Number 3. What's the worst part about being David Henry?
Ooh. Nothing.
Life is good.
Life is great, man.
Go. Question number 4. Have you ever been embarrassed to be a bodybuilder?
No, but I did have an incident where a lady asked me what I did while I was sitting on the plane with her right next to her, and I told her I was an adult entertainer. And she kind of crunched herself into the window.
Yeah, when you're more anxious, you'd rather tell them you're an adult entertainer than a bodybuilder. Something's wrong with being a bodybuilder.
No, I told her I'm an adult entertainer because you think about it, and she was looking at me like, oh boy. Like I was going to hit on her or something, man. I was like, come on.
She probably wanted to see some of your work.
You put your posing oil right on the table right there. All right, question number 5. If you're at a karaoke bar, what's your go-to song?
Living on a Prayer, Bon Jovi.
Wow.
Nice.
Love it. Coming from the guy whose nickname is D Hizzle. I didn't see that one.
I listen to all kinds of music, man. I'm a drummer.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. There you go.
I think we found our theme song for the episode, by the way.
Oh, for sure. Remember that, too, because our other guest has... who was the other one? It was Katy Perry. Was John
JDR is going with Roar by Katy Perry, so you got him out-manlied a little bit.
Good. That's good.
True story. All right. Number 6 here. If there was a movie produced about your life, who would play you and why?
Who would play me and why? Yeah. I think I'd get David Duchovny. and he would be my Hank Moody, if you will.
Wow.
Californication.
That's an incredible. That's just an incredible answer. I think we might have to. No, we'll keep going. We could have stopped it there, though.
Yeah, you should save that one for the last.
Yeah, we'll have to edit that in fancy editing. Next one. If you could eat dinner with 3 famous people from history, past or present, who would they be?
3 famous people, past or present. I would actually sit there and actually like to have a beer with Dr. Martin Luther King. That'd be cool. Just to discuss our relations in the U.S. as a whole right now. Because it's so jacked up still. Even as far as we come, we're still fucked, man. We are, brother. We are. I was just saying that. Actually, President Clinton, ex-President Clinton would freaking be badass. So him, Dr. King.
You guys could all smoke weed together.
Let's see. Third person, history. Historically, I would probably pick a gangster, man. I'd probably pick like Al Capone.
Ooh, that'd be a good motley crew. You and Martin Luther King and Clinton and Al Capone.
Well, because one almost favored the other, man. You know, the mafia took down the KKK and stuff. So, you know, it all kind of segues together if you put the two. So,
let's do number 8. Have you ever had buyer's remorse? And if so, what did you buy you wish you hadn't?
Let's see. The first plasma TV.
That $3,000 thing, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Now you can get them for like $5.99. It's like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, those first ones used to blow up pretty quick too.
I still got the original. I still got my same one, man. It's up in the bedroom, man. That thing is like,
you're lucky.
That's a hot box, man.
No shit.
I think it gets hot as hell up there. So we don't even need to turn the heat on. It really does.
Your power bill doubles when you fucking buy it.
Probably does, man. Jeez, it's ridiculous.
Taylor, he said he's going to pull out his gun on this next one, so we'll see. Question number 9. Question number 9. At 5'5", is the iPhone 6 Plus too big?
Nope, I like my Samsung S5 just nice.
Shit, I got a Samsung, my friend.
I hate the eye stuff. Eye sucks.
There we go. There we go.
I'm with you.
Question number 10. What diet plan would you advise to New Jersey Governor Chris Christie?
We call that around my house, put the fucking fork down. So there you go.
You have to use an acronym, so it's sort of like if it fits your macros or whatever, then people will follow it.
Yeah.
The abbreviation.
Right. Yes.
If you put your fork down.
And the final question, we got 11 questions, so we'll call this the bonus question. If you could bring back the Otomix shoe, the fanny pack, is it the Otomix or the Otomix? I don't know.
I go with Otomix.
Otomix. The fanny pack or Zuba's pants to bodybuilding, which would you choose?
Ooh. 2 of which I had. One of which my buddy still uses.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Fanny pack.
There you go. It's useful.
It's useful, man. It's like the Merce. It's like the man purse, the Merce. You know?
Well, you can put your wallet in there and shit too. I don't obviously wear one, but I mean, instead of having it in your pocket, taking up space and you're sitting on it and shit, I guess you could put it there, right?
Yeah, you put your wallet up in a piece, man. You know, you got your money scattered around through it, you know, and if you're a concealed carry guy like me, you know, they make the concealed carry ones and stuff. You can have your gun around in the inside pocket part of it, and yeah, it's multiple uses.
I think you just sold me on buying a fanny pack.
Even if you don't carry it around your waist, you can sling it around your shoulder.
Yeah,
kind
that's
of
true.
thing.
My wife would probably leave me if I wore it around my waist, but it's worth a shot.
That's because you would put it in a holster like John Wayne. Like that would be
have both thumbs hanging off of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yours would be nickel plated and
yeah, whatever. I'll bring out the wallet chain too.
Oh yeah, that was late '90s studliness right there. Hey Dave, do you have anybody you want to plug or anybody you want to thank? Any sponsors like that before we let you out of here?
Yeah, man. I like to definitely. First and foremost, thank my wife for putting up with me for 10 years of silliness. through the ups and downs and craziness, of course. Nikki, she's awesome. My daughter, Brenna, been the light of my life, man, and gave me a renewed sense of being what it takes to actually be a dad. Anyone can be a father, but it takes some special guys to be a dad, you know. And Scott Stevenson, of course, my buddy, my friend, my confidant, man, the only guy on the planet who knows exactly what I do and when I do it, as far as all that stuff goes. So everything else you hear is pure bullshit and hearsay. And lastly, my sponsor, 4 Dimension Nutrition, 4DN. They will be at the Arnold. I'll be at the Arnold. They've been good to me thus far and treating me really nice, man. And definitely appreciate being on the team. So thank you guys for having me on, man. It's been fun.
And how do people reach you, Dave?
They can find me on my website at www.twopumped.net, or they can reach me email david@twopump.net, Facebook fan page. It's David Henry, IFBB Pro, or on Instagram, DH the Giant Killer. And remember, there's only one giant killer out there. I know there's a couple of perpetrators out there, but they'll
Sean Clarita, you just got called out. Sean Clarita.
What? Who's that?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Somebody calls themselves that? Oh,
Somebody
man.
calls. I know.
I gotta change my name. Wait, no, I don't, because that was actually given to me by Bob Ciccarello and Dan Solomon.
There we go. Hey, Dave, thanks for coming on the show, and this will be out in a couple weeks. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks, man.
Right on, man. Hey, thanks, guys.